Hi everyone, yes, so welcome. It's an amazing Saturday morning breakfast with me, Ribea, Elise. And our breakfast is gonna have us here, not have us here. So while we are busy setting up and while we have tested the video, our breakfast morning is all about that. There is the comfortable you in where we are at. One thing that I do not have is my tissue paper, so I will just go and get my tissue paper quickly while we are starting our discussion. Always have tissue paper handy. Just fix my tea. No stem. Otherwise it's going to disturb me. And then we are enjoying an amazing cup of warm tea. Yay. Excited. And what we are having for breakfast this morning is our favorite brown bread, right? We used to buy Uncle Sally's in South Africa. Those of you who can remember Ribea, Elise, what's Uncle Sally's brown bread with jam or butter and right. It's an old tradition that I've learned from my mama's friends, yes. They used to make me the nicest butter and bread. And my mama Anna used to bake bread. So I'm a bread lover, yes. I love bread. I love the fresh bread. And New Zealand, thank you for that. New Zealand's shops, right? We buy at the countdown or at the food town store. And New Zealand has really given us amazing warm bread in the morning. So this is almost like an Uncle Sally bread. It has got nuts in it. And I enjoy it with cheese and jam. Who loves cheese and jam? Some of our favorite things. You put a little bit of jam, you put lots of butter on the bread. You add a little bit of jam on, and then you add your cheese, and it's amazing with a warm bread. It's amazing. It gives a saltiness to the. It's like you would have with your wine, right? With a glass of wine, you would enjoy a sweet strawberry jam with that, or apricot jam. Very nice. Yes, so we are enjoying that this morning. And while we are at it with breakfast with Ribea, Elise, we are only focusing on our season and what is us in our season, right? So we are excited to share our breakfast Saturday mornings with our friends here. And we are appreciating everyone who is viewing our videos. The Vogue page is doing very good with the viewers. We have 400 viewers, yes, on our Vogue page, Facebook page videos, and we are appreciating that a lot. And they are listening in here. It's good to know that people are listening to what you are educating in season, and they are actually appreciating the education that we have in season, right? Because we so often sometimes think that you are educating, but there's no one that listens. But then when they view the videos in the reels, then we realize that they're actually viewing on what we are saying. And those of you guys who's amazingly working on our people of color, yes, and on our relationship discussions, we appreciate that also. Why? Because we really educate on our pages there, and we really want our listeners to really allow themselves to implement the education that we give on our pages, right? We really spend time with educating, and we really spend time with setting those dates and with preparing for that, and with really making sure that the house is fine, that the Wi-Fi is set up. I had Wi-Fi problems now almost for 3 times, yes. 3 times during this year I had Wi-Fi problems, right? and we just want our Wi-Fi to be fine. We just want our but we are not bothered on the day that we have Wi-Fi problems, because we know that our viewers are very open-minded, so they would know that if a Vogue said that she's gonna post today and she's actually not today on the page, then we know that Ribea will maybe post maybe a few days after that, or when she's ready to post or to share that, especially when it comes to our people of color discussions and to our relationship talk discussions. So yeah, so thank you for that open-mindedness. And where we feel that y'all are working on our pages is that y'all have had and given y'all time to work on the pages, right? So when you know that you have 16 viewers, then you know 16 people from different countries might have viewed in onto your pages. And that means from one country, one person, and they work on that education. And that is what we target and where we are at in this season. We do not target to harm, we target to educate people out of the harm, right? People call it these years and days victimizing. Victimizing means that something happened and someone were endangered with what has happened, right? And that's why when people explain, people are constantly talking today in this season about victimizing on the television screens. But I want people, I've mentioned before, that when you use words, educate our audience properly on what you all are saying, right? This person has been victimized. You explain the story. You explain what has happened thoroughly. You do not leave people halfway. I do not believe in television and producers leaving people, the audience halfway with not explaining what victimized means in the circumstances they are explaining it at, right? It is that we really are firm on proper education on television. I'm really with a Vogue business firm on not setting people out to be harmed. So every time the television uses the word victimize, are y'all gonna then victimize another person? Or are y'all gonna say that in this situation we have actually had this and this? So the explanation of it, right? Because the audience sometimes looks at the television screen, and because we have people that listens differently with different types of disabilities, right? They look at the television screen and they sometimes go and do exactly that. Then they go and victimize a woman. People sometimes listens to what y'all are saying, the word victimize, and they go and just react on that. And such is this universe. So that's why I'm very, very, very firm with our television producers. This in every country that has been working on the Vogue pages, I have educated about this. That we really want the education to not leave people halfway. When y'all are explaining a circumstance and y'all produce on television that the circumstances cause someone to be victimized, you explain what has happened and what you mean with victimized and what you are saying in that time and on that specific television program. So that's for the newsroom teams. Yes, y'all are all excited to just now vote and to just use someone else's words. But Ribea, Elise is very firm and thorough explanation, yes. And they say, Ribea, you talk 10 hours in 1 minute, and it is true. I say things and I'm sometimes exhausted with explaining when I'm done with my people of color talk, because I really want our listeners to listen to how I explain and how I present my discussions, right? It is there that when I'm talking and I talk 10 hours in one discussion room, right? The exhaustion of it, the pace that I'm talking on, what I'm actually trying to relay over means that the information should be so thoroughly explained that by the time that you are finished explaining, then you feel like 10 hours that you have explained one thing, because you want the thorough explanation, and the viewer requires thorough explanation on our television programs, so that we don't have all of the unnecessary misinterpretations, right? Unnecessary questioning with where our generation is at, so that we get those behind the details right. And that is so amazing. Looks like we should always have a breakfast break when we are having our talks. Then we can breathe a bit, because otherwise we just go on a pace and we just on that pace and on that mindset. Yes. yeah, so we are excited for everyone who's on social media. What's everyone thinking about the offices that are closing sometime or not sometime? Maybe in 20 what they say? 2045 when I get my IRD. Oh, yeah, so maybe in 2045. So when we hear on the news that there might be a decrease in roles or in office or in the work environment, then people shouldn't get paranoid about that. Nowadays everyone has that initiative to start our own businesses and to really find ourselves with that we learn to manage our own businesses. So rather than getting paranoid about it, rather than getting aggressive about it, rather than questioning what is happening around us, we have the opportunity to listen to what can we implement in order to not be abused with the education that there's gonna be only so many people that's gonna be required to be employed in a certain year, right? That's where we find ourselves at, and then people start to aggress themselves of that education, right? We hope we're gonna have good lighting in the winter because we already have problem with our corner room light. We haven't bought the big light yet. We want to buy that. Thank you. It's not expensive. I know you get it sometimes at AliExpress. Yes, a good light that is gonna light the whole area of where we are speaking, this whole corner room, because it's a corner room. And when I switch this light on, then the light fades away, right? Then it gets a bit more breakfast morning. Then the light gets a bit more dimmed. So hopefully during this winter we will have proper light. Sometime during the winter. Another thing that we also want to say is, people, do not sabotage one another's businesses, and do not sabotage one another's Facebook page and Instagram pages. Y'all love our vote poster. It's amazing. Look at our decorations. We are trying and doing everything, right? So we are decorating our dining room area here. And we bought a board that is actually, that we placed on top of our existing table that we had, right? But our existing table for me is a bit too tight and we're a bit too squeezed at, and we are really now not going to spend money to buy a table, right? So while we are at it, and while we are in the amazingness of the garden area, and before we really buy a new table setting, right, that we want in our dining room, that we can then have this table outside when the season changes, right, when it's hotter in the summertime. And then for now we're gonna decorate it, we're gonna prepare it, and when we buy a new table we will have a new table here, and then we will have this table in the garden right outside for the summer area, and then we can buy a couch about it. But I'm just excited about how this table might look. I've shared photos on my Instagram page. I'm very excited about it. How this table might look when I'm done with it, because I want to actually paint the top cover. And I'm excited about that, and I will share photos of that also. But it's very nice. It gives us enough space to enjoy your meal and to have at least that area there that you can place. I know it looks odd, but odd is sometimes Ribea, Elise, right? And odd is sometimes where we are at in our seasons. And we love the odd way. We love the odd way of it. And yeah, so we are excited to share that design while we are busy with this table design, to share it with everyone. With everyone who appreciates different fashion. To not only share it with everyone, but to share it with everyone that appreciates fashion in its own way. Because some people educate themselves that fashion should only be a certain type of people and a certain people representing fashion. And fashion is, in this season, it's there, but it's that our viewers in this season are responding differently to fashion. Our viewers in our season responds with that they are evoked about the season that they are at, right? Who ordered an evoke hat with us yet? Some of our viewers, if you press play on our video and you saw that we had a promotion, a funding request, yes, on Evoke business for our Evoke hat, our Evoke bag, and we want to do the Tiger Mom printing t-shirts. Excited about the Tiger Mom printing t-shirts. Why? We are all wow mamas and wow women, and we started with a wow mom initiative in 2021 when we did our Canva design. And we shared our wow mom motivation right on our Evoke page in 2021. And we started with this initiative of representing and educating exactly the appreciation that Evoke voices for moms, for women, accepting that you're a woman, you are a mom, and you are a parent in our generation. And yes, our papas are also honored throughout our Wow Mama education and our Wow Mom education season. But we want to be firm on the education that your Wow Mama and your Wow Papa representation is not only you that has given birth. No, it is every one of us in this generation and in every generation. The education sometimes goes out, and the education are sometimes so abusive to exclude certain ways that people are educating about family. Family is you that has been born a human being. You are a parent. We always educated on our social pages. You are a parent, yes. You are educating. You are parenting. And you are part of humanity, right? The children, yes, we even learn from our children. They are our children. And it makes us one family. And our generation constantly educates one another that families with children are now more visible and have to be out there and have to be representing. And that is so odd and so abusive and so wrong on social media. I have not shared a lot of my discussions with Kiara, and Kiara is not really interested to really be on social media yet, because I think Kiara agrees with me that some people are abusing other people that really doesn't have children. Some people are really not the wow mama in season and the wow parent education in season. Some people are really like they are aggressive to others and they want to represent themselves as being the better person in where you are at when they educate on social media. So for all the passionista, the socialized people, but that's on social media, do you call it socialization team? Yes, they socialize and they start an organization about it and they grace other people and they become like another nation. So the socialization team, y'all get to socialize only with one another. And then y'all are sometimes educating fine, and y'all are other times really in people's spaces about not having children. And y'all are really sometimes aggressing people. And you know what happens when y'all do y'all's videos in a way that y'all are not listening to the listener who's now going to be the viewer also. And then y'all are really honestly sometimes abusing that communication that is now going to be the listener who listens in, because the people who works on YouTube, the people who works on Instagram behind the scenes, you know what they do with those videos? They shift it in people's faces the whole time through. You log into your page and they shift it in people's faces. And I don't think that's right. People have shifted a lot of abusive people's posts into my Facebook and Instagram. When I log in, then the abuseness comes on. And you know that's what happens when y'all do it maybe in a way that's non-abusive. So y'all must listen to how y'all educate. Are y'all required to do that today? Or are y'all part of the socialization team that only socializes with those team who has got children, right? And whose husband and wives, right? And then they said that, Ribea, your table can look so small and our houses is so big and we own these big houses. Then I'm saying, yes, but y'all still pay thousands of dollars a month for your houses, and I do not have any expenses, right? Other than my Capitec bank loan in South Africa, my African bank loan, then I really think that they are really already all over it with that they scratch all the loans that is there, right? So that was years ago stuff. But other than that, there's really no debt in Ribea Elise's name concerning circumstances and concerning educating in our season. We do not educate for everyone to go and put themselves in debt about it. And we do not go and grace people, because if they can't pay and people say that everyone is out of jobs next week, then what are y'all all going to do? Yes. So y'all's videos are being shared on people's pages abusively and in their faces about it, right? It's like my pajama, my warm pants that I have on this morning, right? It's got a sword and then it's got the long knitted part, right? I love this knit part about it. But they say that when this long pants becomes aggressive and they share this long pants in someone else's face, in the morning when I get up, and you know what the YouTubers do? You get up and the YouTubers exactly pause the video in your face and your phone gives an error the whole time. That's what they do on social media these days. It's sometimes very funny. But all y'all socializers, y'all can all work together and no one has to abuse no one about it. No one has to aggress no one, and no one is better than no one, and y'all's houses are not bigger than Ribea's houses. Why not? Because there's people that really doesn't have houses. And if I'm all of y'all, I wouldn't brag about having a house. And there's people in this world that is looking for a place to stay, and it's on the news on a daily basis. Al Jazeera is very thorough with that, educating me about that. When I put Al Jazeera on, they show me exactly what's happening in this world, so that I do not stay in my corner the whole time, and then I want to just now expect everyone to be also in that. That is now the amazing table. I say that the table is a board. We board the board, and the board is amazing, and we make with what we have. The board probably cost us $10 or something. I really do not know. And we really make work with what we have in our houses, so that we are not abusive to other people. I know y'all are going to say, but yes, Africa is all over with their fashion, amazing. They are amazing, but the world is sabotaging them a lot, because the world expects their Africa to look the way that the clothes that they are wearing are looking. But in order for Africa to look like that, the world needs to buy from Africa. Sorry, Kiara's in the house, so Kiara's going to be busy there. But other than that, in order for the world to be looking like Africa, and when we do people of color and someone is in the house and y'all here, then don't get odd about it, because such is Africa and such is poverty in this world, and we are all from Africa, and Ribea from Africa, and I'm still trying to figure out where in Africa Mama Anna is from, and where in Africa Papa Yapi them are from. Yes. Oh, our business is registered. Yes, South Africa has done very good with that. Brother Zach has been very trying to register our business in South Africa. So that's a done deal, South Africa. Thank you. Business Evoke in New Zealand. We are busy with the registering process. Yes, we have discussed it the other day. Yes, also with my sis Antoinette. So it is the registration in South Africa. We are all done. The registration number is there. But it's Gila Holdings, right? Yes. So we registered on there also. And because family for our household is family, we do one business and next we take it to the next level. Yes. So now we are fine, registered, and everything is fine. And Evoke can do whatever Evoke wants to do in South Africa, from here to there, and from here to there, and from here to there. We do all of this amazingness. Yes. While our tea is not cold, let's take a sip. Who loves that song, and from here to there? And from here. Or is it and from day to day? Yes, we're going to give us one sound also, but it's amazing. So everyone, support our business. It's amazing. Don't think only about yourselves. think of us also on that day that you all are really, really, really sometimes socializing with one another. Socializing with one another. It's good that you all are socializing with one another, but don't be abusing our business because we are here and we are so firm about it. Excited? Would you not want this for the beach? Look at it, it's amazing, right? Such is our breakfast moments. It's amazing. I would want to go to the beach with Ribea's face on my... I've got that! I've got the billboard attitude, the billboard representation, the billboard face. People just need to respond about it. It's amazing. You know what people did? You know what people did? When let's sit like this. Like, oh, God bless our grandmama Martha, our late grandmama Martha. Let's sit like our grandmama Martha. So when I was, what did I now want to say? You know what people did those years? People, so this is our vocab. I said my sponsorship on that month. And I have not really had a response of any sponsors on a Vogue business. A Vogue is nice. This is the male design. You know what we're also doing is the leopard print design, right? So we can decide on our fashion look whether we're gonna do this design. This is a male design, but it's also nice for female, for us, for the beads, for the sportiness about it. I'm now gonna show you the leopard print cap that I also want on there. That I also want to have the Vogue design prepared on that. But it looks nice, right? Printed on it, yeah. Then y'all can order it. Let me just get the leopard print. The leopard print for you one. So that's for y'all guys. Tiger Woman attitude. Tiger Woman. We're gonna hashtag the Tiger Woman one. It's nice. So with our Tiger Woman shirt, ooh, we're gonna love it. I love my tiger print, right? I love it, I love it, I love it. It is amazing. The Vogue design, the bag is nice, it's firm, and you can have the bag for quite some time, you know, for quite some time, and you don't have to put a lot in when you go to the beach. You just put a few goodies in and you just enjoy that. It's very nice. Vogue is branding us very nicely. We love it. We love our Vogue brand. We love being our own brand, our own. We love representing, right, our own logo. We love everything about the Vogue. Our fashion voice. People say, "Oh, your fashion is still yet by the baby side of it." The baby style of fashion. I'm saying if you listen thoroughly, then you would listen to what I'm saying, and then you would listen and learn how educated I am without having to receive the education from somewhere else. So it's all about how you scroll on the Vogue pages. And it's all about Ribea Elise in the Vogue business. And it's all about how Ribea Elise represents with the business. We do our videos also for YouTube. For YouTube, leave our ugly slipperkies, we love it. And it's all about how Ribea Elise represents on the Vogue business. And what Ribea Elise say about Ribea Elise. And representing with that exactly. With the awakeness of it. It's amazing. So we are going to mid-year. We love it, right? We love it, we love it, we love it. It's amazing. Or do you love the other hat more? This is this printed one. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. And this is the other. We love this. So, order y'all a Vogue brand hat. Yes, we do the different printing. We do the leopard tiger print for the tiger mom. We're gonna print the tiger mom t-shirt, and we're probably gonna share the t-shirt with you all also. We're excited to share the tiger mom with the tiger mom handbag. Who's your best tiger mom? Ribea, Elise, we're all tiger moms, but sometimes we can honor one another and appreciate exactly that. So that's for Vogue, tiger mom cap with a tiger mom t-shirt. Leopard print, tiger mom to Ribea, Elise, it's sometimes one and the same. So we just do the printing of it, and we appreciate exactly that. Another thing that we wanted to say, we are by June month. Almost the 1st of June, and we are excited. We are very excited of ourselves. We have done very, very good. With our education, we have done very good with how we represent, how we educate. We have done very good with not giving up on ourselves when other people questioned our business. And when other people questioned Ribea, Elise in being the person, right? And we really have done very good with representing that is gonna be not in competition with someone else, right? When you can find yourself in your own space where you are educating from, and you do business, and you find yourself not doing someone else's work in what someone else is doing in their business, then you find yourself in what you are required to do in your business. But when we go and we question our businesses, and we constantly go and compete with someone else, then we are constantly gonna do what someone else maybe is doing in their business. And that's why we learn what is Ribea Elise about. So before Vogue Business, Ribea Elise was a minister in church, right? A minister in church meaning I educated from the Word of God and how my opinion on the Word of God, how I accept Christianity in my life, how I understand the scripture in season, my experiences and my testimonies to other people who were listeners in church, to where I have found myself at, and how I have been fine in my season that I might have been challenged at. And therefore, after I started a Vogue business while I was still ministering in church, right? And I'm not ministering in church, but I'm always educating the South African community. Yes, I know South Africa makes me very angry, but my PAL community people. I know South Africa has done a lot of YouTube videos about Ribea Elise that they do not know, and that they've heard that and this and well, I don't know what. And those YouTube videos sometimes aggresses you, right? And then you would sometimes give an opinion about other people's perceptions that they want to transform you into an aggressive person, into an abusive person. So those videos were sometimes aggressing me. Yes, recently. Other than those videos, I have really been firm on educating Ribea Elise and how Ribea Elise understands the Word of God. How Ribea Elise grew up in the household where Mama Anna was really now not all over the place. Mama Anna was a Christian, and Mama Anna was really just Mama Anna in parenting and educating us with that completeness of it. So for me to now then have started a Vogue and Purpose room derives from my ministering room, right? From where I ministered at in South Africa, and where I traveled once a year to South Africa to go and educate. And not minister church, but to go and educate women the way my Mama Anna used to educate, right? And not educate because people don't know where they're at in their seasons. No, educate because everyone's seasons are different. And I might have been challenged already by things that people are sometimes challenged at, right? And I might have gone through those challenges already. And then from there, the Purpose Serving page started, right? And that's where I was ministering, and where I used to share my personal opinion with my personal PAL community people. And they appreciate that type of person. And yeah, so a woke business, then awoken purpose derives from there. And that is where we are at now, that we started in 2017 already on Facebook page, yeah. On purpose serving page on Facebook and on Instagram, where we were really in that we educated concerning the principles of the Word of God, the education of the Word of God, and that in our everyday life choices, right? And why it is important to sometimes honestly apply the right from wrong in our choices, rather than living ignorantly, rather than only wanting to be the Ribea Elise that's now the crazy young person that I used to be when I was young and working at Oostenburg lots, amazing years bartender. And I was working at Oostenburg lots ever since I was about 15, 16 years old. I was a waitress, and then I was cleaning glasses, and when I was 18, then I was allowed to start to work in the bar, and it was amazing. Amazing. And then after that I stayed there for almost all of my teenage years in Ribea, yes, at the hotel. Those are the only people that exactly know Ribea, Elise. The teachers in Ribea at Oostenburg Lots Hotel, they know me best. Pal community really only knew me when I was a little girl. They really only knew me when I came every now and then on a weekend to Pal community. They really only knew me when I started secondary school, my first 2 years of secondary school. After that, I was really bred and brought up in River, educated by the teachers, that is teachers in Cape Town. Yes, they all came to the bar and they educated me in the bar on normal lifestyle things, normal discussions. It's an amazing education that I've had, that has allowed me to be educating where I'm at in my season, because they were really like teachers, and they were really, it was not like they were educating, but the opinions and the discussions is that you learn from, and that you go and apply in your daily life, and that you find that education was fine and protected for you. And I was really very protected by them, and they were really firm on that. You know, a teacher's reaction is that is very protective. So when they were protective to me, someone else might look in and they might learn, oh, these teachers respect Ribea, and they are actually very protective to Ribea, and then someone else is gonna also be protective to you. So yes, I really appreciate Oostenburg lots of those years. They were very protective to me, and their ways was very educative and very protective and very firm, and people who came into the Lord learned from that experience, right? Especially when we go to different communities, and everyone is different in different communities, then we learn from that is going to have us be fine with where we are at, and we learn to be protective to that is gonna be required in your season. And that's something that our generation can really learn from. It is that when we are graced to one to the other, and we are having misperceptions about Ribea Elise, and we say the whole world about stories. The whole world is a whole lot of people, and a whole lot of people can put a whole lot of people in danger. Some people can be in danger because other people feel that they have Googled in on Ribea Elise, and Ribea Elise is a very respected woman, and the education that is out there is really abusing this type of person. Everyone is respected. We are all allowed to do what we want to do in life. But you know, when someone go and manipulate your name about it, right? When someone go and tell, I know it's sometimes business, and that's sometimes how people sabotage one another's business, and everyone educates, yes, but the world is business, and you are too soft about this and too soft about this, and I'm really not too soft about nothing. I can take anger, I can take hatred, I can take abuse, but when we abuse one another and the listeners listens in, then what is it that we are educating with where we are at in our businesses, right? The world is already looking abusive. The world is already full of so much manipulation, And when we as human beings and business owners and small business owners and everyone who's in well set organizations already, managing high organizations that earns really a good volume, a good amount of money, and we learn that the education now is to also abuse, and we are only starting off with our businesses. So how can we start off abusing the other's organization? How can we start off by educating that competition is competition and you have to be harsh about it? When we learn that after all of these business owners had their discussion, the world ended up in war and they all ended in disagreement. So they would not want us to now go the same route with arguing with one another. They would want us to learn from their mistakes, because they are educators to us. I admire Donald Trump a lot. I admire him a lot. He had some good business initiatives and he shared it on all of our television screens, and we were all tuned in on it, right? And he was, yes, what all of the business initiatives that he educated the young people who started businesses with. And he was really firm and direct with his education. And I remember those years in 2005, 2006, 2007, I was in Auckland, New Zealand, right? And I watched the Donald Trump education with the businesses, with those people who started businesses those years. And I remember how direct he was, and how every night we would tune in and we would put the program on. And South Africa also had the program once, right, on television, that he really educated business owners on how to not abuse one another. Business is business, but you learn from the other. And businesses are an important part of our society. Businesses are an important part of every one of us. It's an important function in our everyday lives, are part of the business that you go and work at, are part of the organization that you work for, are part of your daily income, are part of your food on your table, are part of your expenses, are part of the education department. So really, I was very firm when Donald Trump was going through all these challenges after his parliamentary seat, because he educated us. Yes, people are people and people are going to do stuff. And the world is full of people that does what they want to do in this world. Parliamentary leaders are managing in countries that they are involved even in abuses in this world. So I was really firm on when the education came to every country and everyone learns from everyone, right? And then after that, people goes to abuse people's opinions and people's education. I'm always firm about people not abusing what a vote educates, right? I'm always firm on people not doing with me what y'all do to Donald Trump, right? And people not doing with my business and what y'all do with Donald Trump's business or with other business owners. Competition is competition, but y'all do not try sabotaging an educator in the room. And while the person is still speaking and still educating, someone else grabs the work and they run off with it and they earn Vogue's money, and they go and Vogue scholars about it, and they wear Vogue scholars about it, and they do the tiger print, and they say the tiger to me because they know Vogue is next going to do the tiger print, the Vogue brand. And then everyone starts to steal my business, and everyone runs on social media. And sometimes there's people tuning in and Googling in and people stealing from other people, and then countries are being punished about it. And countries don't realize why they're being punished, and countries don't realize why there's things happening. It happens because we are being educated with honesty and directness. And when we are being educated with honesty and directness, and we go and manipulate the one, the other, then the countries that we are in are being punished about it. So business owners that are really managing their businesses, and that are really trying to manipulate our businesses, and really trying to manipulate what we do, they should really investigate themselves and learn that they should not be the cause sometimes of other businesses that are now really not there to play around, not there to aggress our generation, not there to oppress our generation. And then all the business owners are now viewed with the same mindset that they are now all manipulative and corruptive and abusive about it. So people should really be firm on not abusing one another when they are now starting businesses. I had some people that really did pages for Ribea, Elise specifically, and they really did their business pages to really sabotage Ribea, Elise specifically. And when we deal with businesses like that, then we know we are dealing with a challenging business owner that might take our generation in a totally different route than we are in now. Because where our generation is at now is to get out of the poverty state and to get out of poverty in general and to not abuse our generation further than it already has been abused. So we are very firm with that education, and we really want our business owners to really listen to, especially women, to really listen to what is it that they are doing in their businesses, and not what is it that is a visible object that they are designing and that has got a label on it that is not this cheap Q-tips and that is now their brand, but not an object only, but what it is that you say when you represent your business, how it is that you represent the choices that you make. I've discussed the opportunity of choice here on our podcast. Listen to our podcast, that's amazing. If no one has listened to the Wow Woman season yet on our podcast, they love listening to Leading This Generation's discussions. People don't not listen to Wow Woman. It's sometimes interesting. It says woman, but there's sometimes advice for everyone on there. Thank you. And therefore, and we sometimes have to be strong about it. You can't tell yourself that I'm now not going to listen to a woman's advice anymore because our generation is now wanting to make you LGBT. No, our generation is in that mindset that you have to be firm and you walk through it and you get your day through it. And if you listen to it, you listen to it. If you don't listen to it, you don't listen to it. That firm and directness of us is very important. So so it's not that you have designed an object that now makes your business a business. It is that is your every representation of what you do as a business owner. It is your every representation of how you represent your business. Because for Ribea, Elise to speak perfect on a pages is one thing, and for Ribea, Elise the next day to not have lights because this light already wanted to go off. How many times already while I had a discussion? What is that light that goes off say of Ribea, Elise? These years people go and they say, oh, the light goes off and it means this and this and that. Oh, the light is not bright today, we don't listen to this and that. And that arrogance of it. And then people go and manufacture this, and then the arrogance is behind all of it, and the abuse and the manipulation and the corruption is behind it. So we must be very, 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 very attentive to who it is that we excel. Not Word, Microsoft Word, that we excel in our season. Not Microsoft Office Word. I'm going to explain that now. I think I'm getting an error on my cell phone. But before I get the error, I just want to explain Microsoft Word. Let me just go check the error quickly. Battery is probably going low. Let me just check this battery level here. Not Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and we have a little bit of cheeses there. Microsoft Word. What Microsoft Word? Microsoft Word is what we say in our season, and what is going to have us be fine in our season. Microsoft Excel is what we allow ourselves to be educated about. Excel is very interesting, but Excel allows you the time to be educated. Excel allows you the time to listen, to understand how to use Excel, and how to implement it with where you are at and with what you do in your task, right? And Excel is a function that has got so many ways and ticks and tricks and tracks and so many options about Excel, right? And sometimes some people find their way easy through Excel, and some people says that, you know what, we are all Microsoft Word inclined, intertwined. We are all Microsoft Word experienced, right? Word is easy because it's easy for us to explain ourselves, and the Vogue business has had that advantage that I am not a easy talker, but when you listen to how I educate, you learn that there's not the easiness about it, but the excelness about that when you listen to what a Vogue represents and what a Vogue educates concerning our business and concerning our motivational education and our social pages, motivational speaking, our representation of educating our leaders in this season, and our representation of educating our communities and educating our viewers on social media. So I always say that a Vogue business our social approach is very, very 100% there, right? We are 100% there with what we want a Vogue business, where we want it to be at on social media, because we want our social media listeners to listen to not a motivational speaker, not a pastoral leader, not a ministering teacher, but to listen to the education about social media that's required in our generation, and how social media can advance into that. There is now not the pastoral leader that now only once a week thinks that he now needs to minister that, but there is a process that a Vogue educates our social media listeners through, that becomes part of our community's education, that becomes part of educations that you can implement in businesses and in the office environment. And that's what a Vogue business does on social media. So we are a social media business owner. We are exactly educating the viewer that we are not setting the viewer a target to now listen only for us at this space, and then we present that and we give that award and they need to listen in so many viewers at that time. But we are setting that is our education, and social media is a planned education and is for our viewers and is exactly educating our countries in general, our parliamentary leaders, our office managers, our business managers. And it's now not only a community initiative, but it's a social media business. A social media communication business that educates our community of social media on certain discussions and certain topics and certain challenges that they might find in their everyday life. And that is what a Vogue business are doing when it comes to our social media pages. So no, we're not a ministering teacher who's now going to only think about what we're going to say today. No, we are walking with our social media business, a journey with our social media listeners. And our journey is we relationship educate. Our journey is we educate firmly on leadership. We educate firmly on our people of color. And we educate firmly on community initiatives. That is now not only education that is now here because everyone is on lockdown or has been on lockdown now. That is an education necessary for every country, because we sometimes can't travel to countries and we sometimes have to find that is now the business that's representing directly from social media, and its representation is directly for the social media audience and not only for the community necessarily. And that's what a Vogue business does exactly. For those people who were wondering what we are doing here, so that's exactly that. So we're not going to leave you halfway through relationship discussion, no. We're not going to leave you halfway through people of color discussion, no. Or leadership talk, no. We are walking a complete business journey. It's our business. We thrive in what we are doing, and we are directly directing at our social media audience and our social media listeners. And that is what a Vogue business represents, and what Ribea represents with a Vogue business. And other than that, what we sometimes do, those normal YouTube videos that come through, is because our listeners sometimes wants to know the Ribea Elise person. And that exactly, yesterday's pizza evening is exactly the Ribea Elise person. So yeah, we just have to find another YouTube page for that. But a Ribea Elise YouTube page, yes, we're probably going to do that sometime. the normal things, because sometimes I put it on Instagram and I only want to leave it there for a day so that the viewers can maybe check what was Ribea doing yesterday, or they can go to YouTube and they can go and view what type of person is Ribea Elise. And that is just about it, yeah. That is about it with our breakfast this morning. We had an amazing brookie. Yes, and if you can share with us with funds, yes, we would appreciate that. Yes, we had communications from few countries, yes, people that really wants to really allow us to really communicate our business through to where they are at. And so yeah, we had some communications. That's a very good initiative, everyone. We appreciate that. Order your Vogue Tiger Woman shirt with us. Order your Vogue Tiger Woman hat. Yes, we're excited about the Vogue Tiger Woman printed hat. And you can either decide to have the print on here, or we can decide to maybe have the print intertwined inside. Yes, inside in the Vogue print inside. And yeah, so representing that. And when seasons changes, summer beach bag, a lunch bag for when you go to the office, we deliver. Yes, you can order, we send it to the countries, and we are there to really inspire and really motivate the one the other. So we can't wait for our tiger printed t-shirts and to share it with everyone. Other than that, that is where we are at with the Vogue breakfast, Ribea Elise breakfast this morning. That's a few things about me. Maybe you all are a bit very on that you want the professionalness of Ribea, but Ribea is now not only going to give you the professional Ribea. Ribea believes in that business is the person that you get to know rather than the person that you want to get to know. So it's very important, yeah. Then when you know the person, then you know how you would do business with the person. When you want to get to know someone else, right, that person, and the Ribea gives you this person, and you want to get to know the Vogue face Ribea with the hair weave, then sometimes the Vogue face is only giving you that. Ribea gives you the completeness, the personality, the education, the representation, the way I'm at in my season, and that is direct, firm, and protective to have in our seasons with businesses. That is it for today. Have an amazing Saturday. Now we're going to do our Vogue photos, yes. Have an amazing Saturday, everyone. It's so wintry and so windy outside, but we're going to have warm photos for the day. Have an amazing Saturday further. Thank you for tuning. We are already logging out. You can listen to the video again. Thank you. There's someone that tunes in again. There was someone that tuned in earlier, yes. But you can view the video again. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing Saturday.